The year was 1992. Rebecca Summers heard a noise outside and glanced out the window. In the pool floated a towboat her brother Tommy had recently lost. Tommy was terminally ill and confined to his bed. Overjoyed by the discovery, Rebecca rushed to retrieve her brother's toy, but she couldn't quite reach it. She stood at the edge of the pool, and an unseen force suddenly pushed her into the water. Rebecca saw her mother approach to pull her out, but when she surfaced, no one was there. Later, someone grabbed Rebecca and dragged her underwater. She screamed for help, but none of her family responded. Years later, the Waller family moved into the neighborhood. Ray, once a celebrated baseball player, was now battling multiple sclerosis and gradually becoming disabled. However, this allowed him to spend more time with his wife, Eva, and their children, Izzy and Elliot. Because Ray frequently changed teams, the family had moved often, but now they planned to settle down and were looking for a rental home. Eva had found a job, and they needed a place nearby. A realtor showed them a cozy house they were ready to rent, but they noticed another property nearby. Ray and Eva asked to see it. This house had once belonged to Rebecca Summers' family. It came with a pool, and Ray's physical therapist had recommended swimming as a form of therapy. The backyard looked ominous, yet the family found the house appealing. While touring the house, Ray reached for a baseball that had fallen into the pool. He slipped, nearly drowning, but managed to resurface. The incident only strengthened his desire to move in. As Ray's condition worsened, Eva prepared the house for his needs, installing special railings and hiring a technician to inspect the pool. The technician revealed that the pool was fed by an underground spring nearby, a rare feature. The Wallers began cleaning the pool, and when Ray stuck his hand into the drain, something unseen injured him. Meanwhile, Izzy and Elliot started adjusting to their new school. Izzy met a boy named Ronan, who invited her to join the swim team. Thrilled by the opportunity, she looked forward to practicing in their pool. Elliot too found it beneficial to swim and hold his breath to strengthen his lungs and muscles for baseball. Once the pool was ready, the Wallers enjoyed a swim in the pristine water. That evening, Eva decided to take another dip. As she swam, she thought she saw Ray standing nearby, but he wasn't there, which frightened her. As she left the pool, their cat approached the water, sensing the sinister presence lurking below. The next morning, the Wallers found the cat's collar in the pool. Ray retrieved it with his injured hand, only to discover that his wound had completely healed. The water had healed him, seemingly in exchange for their pet. Disturbed by the strange occurrences, Eva suggested covering the pool, so they bought a special cover. That night, Eva dreamed she was underwater again. When she woke up, she saw Ray swimming. At his next doctor's visit, they learned his condition was improving, something deemed impossible. The Wallers attributed this miraculous recovery to the swimming. One day, when Elliot wanted to swim, Eva told him to bring his father for supervision. Ray, however, was busy and sent him alone. Elliot decided to dive for coins, so Ray transformed one into a smiley face and promised to come help him retrieve it soon. Elliot attached the coin to a tow and dove into the water. Suddenly, coins began falling into the pool from nowhere. Elliot assumed it was Izzy trying to scare him. As he retrieved the coins, he reached the deeper part of the pool, where a girl called out to him. She introduced herself as Rebecca and invited him to retrieve a toe hidden in a niche in the pool wall. When Elliot tried, a monster grabbed him. He screamed for his mother, but no one was there. Ray didn't believe his son's story. Later, during baseball practice, Elliot participated, and Ray was asked to give the players some tips. When the Bows finished batting, Ray decided to show off. After two failed swings, he hit the ball so far it wasn't found immediately. At that moment, the water in the pool rippled slightly. The creature inside had helped Ray make the hit. That evening, while the parents were out, Izzy invited Ronan over. While they were playing, Elliot stayed inside. Suddenly, Ronan emerged from the water, and Izzy encountered the monster. It nearly dragged her to the bottom. As the pool grew inexplicably deeper, she managed to escape, but Ronan claimed to have seen nothing. When their parents returned, Ronan had to leave in a hurry. Afterward, Elliot confided in Izzy, admitting he'd seen something strange underwater. He realized she had seen it too. Elliot wanted to tell their parents so they could move, but Izzy refused. She didn't want to ruin things for their parents, especially since Ray was recovering. Izzy forbade Elliot from saying anything to them. On the weekend, the Wallers hosted a poolside party. Izzy and Elliot's school friends attended, along with Ray and Ava's new acquaintances. The realtor who had helped the Wallers find their home was also invited. Eva was on edge, worried that something might happen to the swimming guests. When the topic of the pool's long disuse came up, the real Tom mentioned that back in the 90s, a girl named Rebecca Summers drowned there. Meanwhile, Ray carried the coach's son on his shoulders and waded into the pool. During a playful tussle with another pair, Ray ventured into the deeper water, and a dark presence entered his body. Suddenly he grabbed the boy and dragged him underwater. Both nearly drowned but were rescued just in time. The boy's parents decided not to press charges, attributing the incident to Ray's illness, but they forbade any further interaction with the Wallers. Eva, unable to stay in the house any longer, packed their things, took the children, and tried to leave. Ray, however, resisted. Eva managed to persuade him to get in the car, but they didn't get far. Ray became ill. The entity inside him wouldn't let him leave the source of its power. The Wallers returned home. Eva then drained the pool completely. Determined to uncover the truth about Rebecca, she began digging into the house's history. She discovered that Rebecca was not the only victim. Many people had drowned there, and Eva was determined to find out why. She contacted the real Ty and learned where Rebecca's mother currently lived. Eva needed to understand what kind of creature resided in the pool and how to get rid of it. If she didn't, Ray might not survive. Eva visited the Summers family. It turned out that after Rebecca's death, her brother Tommy recovered and went on to achieve great success, providing his mother with a comfortable life. When Eva asked about Rebecca, the woman initially claimed she never had a daughter. However, under pressure, she revealed the truth. The water in the pool came from a spring with healing properties, but it demanded sacrifices in return. In the Summers case, the spirit of the spring demanded Rebecca. The mother had been forced to sacrifice her daughter to save Tommy. While they lived in that house, the dark entity entered Mrs. Summers, taking control of her body. She offered her daughter to the monster and locked Tommy in his room to prevent him from intervening. Afterward, they got everything they had wished for, but Mrs. Summers had to carry a curse, keeping a part of the pool's water closed at all times to avoid death. Realizing her family was going through the same ordeal, Eva rushed home. At that moment, the children were there alone. Ray was hiding, waiting for the spring to claim a sacrifice and grant him full health. The underwater spirit had chosen Elliot. It lured him by showing the family's missing cat. When Elliot tried to save the cat, he fell into the water and sank. At the same time, the pool cover began to close automatically. Izzy tried to stop it but lacked the strength. Just then, Eva arrived and took over from her daughter. Izzy ran to get help from her father but slipped and fell. A glass of water on the table shattered, cutting her hand. Another move by the underwater entity. Ray appeared next, his mind fully controlled by the cursed water. He attacked Izzy, forcing her to hide in the garage. When Ray found her, he locked her in, planning to keep her there until Elliot drowned. Once that was done, he intended for everything to return to normal, but Eva was more determined than he anticipated. She dove into the pool to save Elliot. By then, he had sunk too deep. She tied a garden hose to herself and used it to breathe as she swam down to the realm where the souls of the drowned resided. When Eva found Elliot, the monsters attacked her. Only Rebecca wanted to help. She handed Eva a coin and used it to show the way to the surface. Eva realized she had been swimming in the wrong direction. Thanks to Rebecca, she emerged from the pool with Elliot. Ray was already there. Instead of helping his son, he attacked Eva, lifting her off the ground, intending to kill her. But Izzy came to the rescue. She grabbed her father's baseball bat, escaped the garage, and struck him with all her strength. A few powerful hits brought Ray back to his senses. He realized he was ready to sacrifice his children for his own recovery. Overwhelmed by guilt, Ray began resisting the cursed water, which then poured out of his body. At that moment, Elliot regained consciousness, but started to struggle for breath. The spring still demanded a life in exchange for Ray's health. As Elliot began to suffocate, Ray realized the only way to save his son was to offer himself instead. He entered the pool, allowing the dark waters to take him. Elliot immediately recovered, and the cursed entity left him. When it was all over, the Wallers considered moving, but they knew the next family would face the same danger. They decided to stay to ensure no one else would suffer. To protect themselves, they filled the pool with dirt. And that's where the movie ends. Thank you for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you next time.